Hello and welcome to Around the Clock. I'm your host, Yolanda Greaves. As you can see, we are filming today's show from the Ashland High School and the reality fair that is held for our Ashland High School seniors. We will also be sharing with you on today's show about the Haitian Flag Day that was held back on May 18th, the junior prom and the grand procession that happens with that, as well as some election results and a few other things. All kinds of excitement happening at the Spin the Wheel here at the Reality Fair. So stay with us as I bring you Around the Clock.
No whammy, no whammy, no whammy. No whammy, no whammy, but you lost
I got
your
a whammy.
phone.
I lost my phone.
Jack, you lost your phone.
I lost $1,000.
What type of young person are you losing your phone?
Ridiculous.
I
Not very
understand that.
responsible.
No, lose phone.
Oh my goodness.
So I'm Patricia Thomas, and I'm the Dean of Business at Framingham State. And today I'm assisting the students in making housing options.
So we are here at the Ashland High School Reality Fair. It is a program for seniors, and we are sitting here with Ella Wong. Ella, first of all, you're a senior.
Yeah.
How are you responsible for this fair?
So my advisors and I, Miss Jean Betty and Mr. Wixer, have been coordinating the reality fair this year for the past 4 or 5 months, and just organizing all of the volunteers, all of the information, doing the setup, and eventually the breakdown later today. But yeah, it's been a huge time commitment, but it's just great because it's worth it all. You know, it's such a good experience for all the seniors to go through all the booths and kind of, you know, play a little game of life. So yeah.
So you're partway through your plan. What have you learned? What's one thing that you learned that you didn't think you would through this process?
I feel like I knew I was gonna be broke, but like how broke I'm gonna be was definitely a shock. I also really didn't know about all the types of life insurance. You know, all the options. I didn't know anything about that. Honestly, every booth I kind of learned things, and you know, stuff you didn't think about, like like apartment insurance. I was like, oh, okay.
Renter's insurance, an important thing.
Yeah, so something I learned today.
So are you done yet or not yet? Do you have a few more things to do?
I just have to spin the reality check wheel, and then I'm gonna come back here and get my budget checked.
Well, why don't you go spin that wheel and then we'll do a budget check together.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Your retirement, you're putting that 6%, right?
They were telling everyone 6%, like I don't know how much it's really supposed to be, and they got that off of my salary before taxes.
Through it, right?
Yes.
Is this the last step?
Yes, it is.
So tell me about your experience today. What are your thoughts?
It was cool. It was definitely fun to go through after you get a monthly budget and kind of work through what life would be like living on your own. So it's definitely fun. I chose being a financial manager. It's definitely something I'm interested in, doing something in the finance world.
So we're here at the Reality Fair at Ashland High School and helping seniors, you know, see what it's like in the real world and what they're going to be accountable for and what they're going to have to be responsible for. My specific role is I'm a budget counselor. So after the students go through each of the booths and write down what it is that they're going to do and what they're going to spend money on, I sit down with them, go through their income and go through their expenses and make sure that they're in the black at the end of the month. And then help them out if they're not, find ways to cut back on saving.
So why did you choose to volunteer today? I know you're a busy person, but...
Yeah, so this is always a fun event to go to. It's actually an inspiring event. I'm always amazed, even though I've done this several years, I'm always amazed at the caliber of kids we have here in town and just how good a head they have on their shoulders, how practical they are, but also how ambitious they are at the same time. It's just a really fun experience.
Why did you write it? It depends how you want to do it. You can go there, you can find out what you have left over, and then you can come back for these two things, the savings and...
Questions. First, what did you think of the process and going through the reality fair?
I think it was very...
Hold that a little closer to you.
I think it was like very helpful. Like I know that we're pretty much like the only school that does this, and I was able to like actually learn about all the fees. I didn't actually know that there were all of these fees and things that you have to pay. So I was very shocked about the amount of expenses that I had. Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, so my career choice was an information security analyst.
Okay.
So like I was able to like have a little money to spare.
Because of your choice of job,
Yeah.
had some extra money.
Yeah, but I made sure I picked one that was closest to my major, so that way this could be like a natural reality fair. Yeah.
Coming with ideas of having the most expensive place, maybe a 2-bedroom apartment, and quickly, as the name says, it's a reality check. Some of them recognize that they need to stay at home maybe for a year or two. Others recognized immediately that they needed roommates. So it was fascinating just going through the process, seeing some of them walk around and then modifying their decisions as they went through this.
My name's Ed Council. I'm at the transportation booth here in the Reality Fair in Ashland, and I'm a member of the Framingham Rotary Club, which is one of the sponsoring organizations of this Reality Fair. The need for transportation, the need to either consider public transportation if that's possible, given where they're living, given where they're working, and the trade-offs issues, or buying or leasing a car, and the respective costs of those options, and the yin and yang of those decisions. There's no right or wrong answer. It's just a matter of what they need in order to be able to do the job.
Amanda Rosada from the Bernardi Auto Group.
Kate Culbertson, also Bernardi Auto Group.
We are helping the students learn what it's like to buy a car and have a car payment and pay for gas.
And what's included and what is not included.
A lot of them have been very financially smart.
What's the cheapest option?
Yeah. And then there have been others who do want to go with an Audi, per se, and we just have to figure out financially if it fits for them.
They have been very open to hearing about what the benefits and the negatives are to leasing, financing, newer cars, pre-owned cars, the mileage in the cars, what it's going to end up being like to insure. So I think that's very helpful.
My name is Rich Gelfand, and I'm a volunteer here at the Reality Fair, and this year I'm at the food table, and we're helping kids budget their food based on whether they want to go cheap, whether they want to go frivolous, or whether they want to go delicious and nutritious. And there's different food categories within each one, and the kids can kind of mix and match and come up with a budget on what they want to do. And so what I've been noticing, a lot of kids for breakfast, they eat breakfast at home. They'll have cereal, which is, keeps it cheap. And lunch, they might mix and match, do just something delicious, and then maybe they once in a while might go out for lunch. And then come dinner, they'll kind of go a mix of delicious, nutritious, and cheap. But then on the weekends, they might go out like one day of the weekend, and then they'll come up with their budget. And if that matches what their needs are, by the time they go through all the other categories, we might see them again to adjust their numbers, or they'll go from there. So it's been a good experience. I've been volunteering at this for 3 years.
My name is Sherry Whittemore, and I'm here as part of the Rotary Club, and I am at the clothing table. The clothing table provides kids with guidance as to what their budget for clothing should be according to their profession. We have several categories. One is uniforms. Being a Rotarian, our motto is service above self. So, but I like being with the kids and helping them understand what the real world costs, and that makes it fun.
I'm Alan Galiwango. I'm volunteering at the Personal Savings booth at the Reality Fair. I live in the town of Ashland, so I thought this was a good opportunity to get to see the high school students. I wish we had this when I was growing up.
And so what are you teaching them about today?
Pretty much we're teaching them how to manage their finances. So a lot of times when they get to our booth, they've already spent their money in various expenses like luxuries. And if they're negative in terms of the money left over, we'll send them back, or we can send them to a part-time job so they can get some more money to balance out their budget.
Excellent. So why did you decide to volunteer today? What do you like about this?
I thought it was a great idea. Like I said before, I wish I had this growing up. I think it's really great to educate our young population. I think this should be a mandatory class in all schools, in high school, because the reality is you get out in the real world and there are a lot of these expenses and you don't have any way to manage personal finance. I think it's a great idea that they're teaching these kids how to do that ahead of time.